From the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hi guys, this is Zaya and welcome to Streamer Reviews, where gaming streamers review the best new gaming laptops. Gamers are an impatient bunch and I've got a laptop just for you. Let's look at the top 3 reasons why the Acer Predator Helios 300 is perfect for the impatient gamer. Number 1. Its 11th Gen Intel Core i7 processor, which brings out the potential of the GPU's high-speed GDDR6 memory to ensure faster experience with higher frame rates and lower latency. Gamers hate long load times. That's why our second reason is the Helios 300's 2TB PCIe SSD. The SSD operates at PCIe Gen 4 speeds, giving you incredible read-write speeds for a faster response time. If all this wasn't enough, check out reason number 3. The 5th Gen Aeroblade 3D technology plus vortex flow, which lets you say goodbye to heating issues. Shout out to the Predator Sense dashboard, which lets you monitor your system, overclock, and customize everything instantly from one place. I think it's clear that this system is geared for super fast results. Get your Acer Helios 300 powered by 11th Gen Intel Core processor now.
From the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to LG Ultragear presents TEC Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial. Our gaming partner is Intel, and our apparel partner is none other than 656. Before we start, I would like to throw a huge shout out to Intel for making this tournament possible. Their efforts are what keep us going, and they can keep you going as well if you switch to their products because they provide the best gaming value by providing the best overall gaming experience. So go ahead and check out the hashtag Game with Intel. But if you're speaking about hashtags, there's only one hashtag on my mind today, and that is violence. We have some amazing teams playing today, so let's take a look at who we have.
Yep. And taking a look down over to today's matchups, well, it's gonna be an interesting set of two games. We have four teams, and they're fighting for four very different objectives. For Team Snakes and Orgless 5, it's a lot about survival. It's just how long can they keep on going? How and can they secure a prize pool in the gauntlet? Because being down in the lower brackets, your journey is really, really uncertain where it's going to lead. And every single day, you're gonna be fighting, much like what Team Snakes were doing yesterday. Now, later on in the evening at 8 p.m., more specifically, we have our final upper bracket semifinals. It's going to be Reckoning Esports up against Enigma. Both of these teams, all 10 of the members, they've been having excellent performances overall, not just in the playoffs, but in the group stages as well. And now they'll be facing off against one another. But coming back to right now, it's going to be Team Snakes up against Orgless 5.
Well, Team Snakes and Orgless 5, like you said, the stakes for both the matches today are different. I mean, Enigma
Right.
and Reckoning have more like a rivalry of who's the best, who's the number one, fighting for the top. Meanwhile, these guys are just fighting for their lives. And honestly, I wouldn't want to be in their shoes. It's a very high pressure match for both of them to be in. Let's take a look at the first team today. We'll go into the matchups and we'll see what players are playing, who can we expect to pop off on the server today.
Exactly. We need to take a full look at what's going on, right? And taking a look at the MVP standings. Well, the good thing is that right now, once more, the standings mainly haven't changed all that much. Right now, Raw Fuel's still topping the tables. I mean, has there ever been a moment in season 4 of the Gauntlet where he hasn't been at the top? I really don't think so. Then after yesterday's victory, Paradox from True Rippers is also right here in second place. Got Night Rider from the side of God Particles. And then yesterday, Shooter, he was on the fourth place in the MVP standings, but yesterday he had, not a good performance. It was a bit below average, and for that, MVP standings, they are cutthroat. You've got to be a cut above the rest to be in the top 4. So hopefully, Shooter, considering the fact that he'll be playing again, if he can have an amazing performance, he can claw his way back into these standings, and he can make sure that his team claw their way through on forward into the playoff brackets.
Definitely. I mean, we're gonna be
Mhm.
seeing Raw Fuel today later on anyway, but I miss the days when Shooter was on the MVP standings in the top 4. Right now, he's
Right.
not there, but at least we get to see him in the game. Let's see what's at stake here. We'll take a look at the brackets and see why exactly these teams are in a little bit of danger. That's probably because they're in the lower brackets. Now, the team that wins over here, they will move ahead in the lower bracket and they will most likely be facing either True Rippers or God Particles. Now, that depends on how their matchups go later on. But for now, these guys need to focus on themselves, on their own survival, and just put their best game forward.
Yeah, the good thing is going to be for the team that wins right here is that they'll have a lot of preparatory time because the matchup of Team Snakes up against August 5, they'll be moving on forward to the last stage of the lower bracket before the finals. So they can then see the matchup of God Particles against the loser of Rec versus Enigma. And they can see that entire best of 3 saga take place, study their opposition through and through, and then they can very well prepare against them, have their counter strats ready. And this time that they'll have is going to be very, very useful for their side.
Honestly,
And
with Team Snakes and August Vibe, both of them being in a stage like this, I kind of think that at this point they will start throwing in everything they've got, all the secret stats that they might have saved up from the past, or things that
right.
they might have picked up by watching teams like Enigma and Reckoning. It's the time to employ them now, and it's also a little sad, right? Considering the overall story of Team Snakes, there's a good chance that the team might not stick together after this tournament, and this might be the last time
Hmm.
we see them. So they're playing not
Right.
just for their nostalgic and intrinsic value, but they're also playing to show what this team stands for as a whole, and hopefully put a memorable performance so that we remember them for the days to come.
Absolutely. And speaking of Team Sneaks as well, let's have a look at their roster and exactly the players that we have been seeing for such a while play together. Their future, both as a roster and in the gauntlet in the playoffs, may be uncertain. But what is for sure is that this team in their prime absolutely dominates the entire South Asian spectrum. I mean, we have seen these guys fight off against, tier one teams, tier two teams, like basically any team, keep them against them and push them against them. It's going to be a very, very hard fought fight. And for that very reason, Team Snakes, they have become the favorites in the minds of so many. They came in as a roster relatively, I mean, I wouldn't say new. I mean, a lot of time has passed, but still from place where there wasn't a lot of recognition, and then they were the pioneers of the recognition. They were the team everyone looked up to, and they saw them as the benchmark. And now whatever happens to the players so far, it has been an amazing journey. And even the same can be said for like Orgless 5. We'll talk a little bit more about their roster, but for now, keeping an eye on Team Snakes, there's one person we really want to talk about. There's one person we want to get the MVP spotlight powered by Crucial on, and that's gonna be King. Man, he had a great performance yesterday. Even though Team Snakes lost, the fact that he was playing multiple different agent archetypes and still performing to the best of his abilities, still having a positive KDA, meant a lot for that roster.
Exactly. The way this guy aggresses is very hybrid. On one hand, you have players like Shooter who are going in the enemy's faces and picking up close quarter combats. Meanwhile, King, on the other hand, he generally prefers to play the long range or the mid range. He doesn't go up in the faces of his enemies. Plus, because he's a chamber main or a sentinel, and sometimes even picking up the controller for that matter, he's supposed to stay alive longer than his fellow teammates. So he will
Right.
pick on the more passive roles, but that doesn't mean that he will not aggress when the time is right. If he sees an opportunity, he's not going to hesitate to move ahead and pick up a fight, even though he is the controller or the sentinel or any other character who's supposed to stay alive for a lot longer. So that hybrid playstyle of King is what makes him such a dangerous person to go up against, because he's not afraid to put on the fighting gloves whenever required.
Mhm. Absolutely. Yeah. Every single member on the side of Team Snakes, like they are gonna take gunfights, and that was something an quality of theirs we witnessed yesterday. They were taking early initial fights against the likes of True Rippers so many times, especially on the map of Split. You have the mid region, which is absolutely a necessary region for both of the rosters. On attack and on defense, you can control the entire flow of the round if you can control that area. And that is exactly why so many of the times the members of Team Snakes, they kept on pushing them. A lot of the times it worked in their favor. There were times where it didn't work in their favor as well, and it led to massive calamities that their team had to endure. It led to a lot, and I mean tons of casualties being right there. But overall, it's a strategy they're going to follow through. They are, I mean, if they spot an enemy, they are 100% going to go after him. They are going to chase the prey if they are in the correct position. And now, talking about their opposition as well, Orgless 5, really interested to see exactly their perspective. Because we talked about, Team Snakes trying to get to back to their former glory once, when they were used to be known as Team Exploit. And a similar thing can be said for Orgless 5 as well. Obviously, this roster has had a lot, and I mean a lot of roster changes, but inherently, even these five members, they want to go back to the days where they were in their prime.
Oh, I would still say that they are in their prime. The players individually definitely have what it
Yes.
takes to stay in
Yep.
form, out aim their
Hmm.
opponents, and individually outperform. They only struggle when they come together as a team. Now, back when the original roster of Oculus 5 was intact, these guys were a very dynamic team and they change things up very often. Ever since Hacker has entered, Hacker has picked up the more boring role. He's picked up the more of a passive person who doesn't really take as many risks. But then you have
Hmm.
players like Sai who push the envelope of risk very often. In fact, this guy will give you so much anxiety that you will always be chewing on your teeth. And then you have players who are always in the spotlight. There's people like Godbexy who can always clutch, but the one person that I want to look at today, the crucial player, pun intended, is right here on your screens. And that's going to be my MVP for the day. It's none other than Wimp. Wimp is, I don't know, versatile. This guy can pick up anything. I've seen him play the Killjoy. I've seen him play the Sova. Now he's playing the Omen recently after the Astra was nerfed. And
Yep.
even though they have a Black Hawk in their team, the Astra main, in my opinion, one of the best Astras in the country, they still don't hesitate giving him the controller role every now and then. So that's amazing. Plus, he used to IGL. So what can this guy not do?
Well, I know something he can and he does do very frequently. That's hit, a lot of shots. I mean, even as an Omen, the last time we saw him, which was against Exili Esports here, the Gauntlet, Orgless 5, they played the two maps. It was a nice win for their side. And overall, Wimp, I believe he had like 35 kills and 23 deaths. That's a very impressive statistic for someone who plays inherently a supportive role, a controller to say. However, that still doesn't necessarily mean he's going to be a person who's going to play or be the support. Absolutely not. He is going to get kills regardless of, like you said, regardless of the agent he is playing, regardless of the situation you put him in as well. It's going to be supporting his entry fraggers and getting into those positions, or it's going to be just being in a clutch moment. It's also a lot dependent on the map he's going to be in, especially as a controller, especially as the Omen. So taking a look on at the three maps that we will be seeing today, let's bring up the veto screen. And it's an interesting one because it makes sense why these teams have chosen the maps they have. Orgless 5 Ascent, like I just said, their previous matchup against Exili, they played Ascent, they end up winning comfortably 13-5. Long story short, there's nothing to debate about them. Team Snakes, Icebox, yes, they have found success here, but yesterday they faced a crushing defeat against the likes of True Rippers, losing 13-4. So I'm still debating why they have picked up this map, and then Split is, I guess it's there.
It's just there. Okay. So I like Orgless 5 on Split. One of the best things that I like about them is that they were the first team to start using the KO on this map. In fact,
Right.
they were the first team to actively play Split against teams like let's say God Particles, or back then they were called as Force One, and they were the strongest team on Split, right? This team wouldn't hesitate playing against them. So that bravery of these guys is something that I really appreciate all the time. But we'll discuss Ascent later on. For now, we are getting into the agent selection. Let's see what these guys have in store for us. I mean, a jet is obviously to be expected, but do
Yep.
you see something like a chamber being picked up?
I mean, on Ascent, I don't think so, but on the other maps, absolutely. I mean, both the rosters, Killjoy has been losing a lot of her market share recently, and it's been Chamber that's been picking a lot of that up, that's been gaining a huge chunk of that percentage. So, as we move on to the map of Icebox and even Split, both of those maps we saw yesterday in Team Snakes and True Rippers, we did not see a single Killjoy. We saw Chamber, we even saw Cypher, but not KJ. In this map, though, that won't be the case. It's going to be a Sen. Soulmate is going to be on the Killjoy, as we frequently know him to be. And on the side of Orgless 5, it probably will be Hacker. And overall, the compositions, I mean, they're looking very standard. Look, it's Ascent. It's not going to change that much. The only change we
Yeah,
have is that instead of the Astra, it's now an Omen. Pretty much
yeah.
done and dusted.
Yeah, there's nothing to write home about, nothing out of the ordinary.
Hmm.
Although, yeah, if
Exactly.
maybe the players of Team Snakes change up their roles, that will be different. We've seen them switch things around, right? King sometimes picks up the Sentinel, sometimes picks up the Initiator. This time we have Soulmate on the Killjoy. So they'll interchange the agents between each other, but the agents themselves will be the same for the most part.
Right. And for the side of Orgless 5 as well, interesting, they've gone for double duelist instead of double initiator, kind of like what Team Snakes have done, who are right now in front of our screens. Yeah, once more, it's the same expression on their face. And I'm not really sure why, but I mean, you can call that a positive attribute for their side. If before heading into a survival matchup like in the lower brackets, an upper bracket matchup, all of you have the like a neutral expression, it's good. We see many a times a lot of esports athletes talk about that you need to think of every matchup like it's any other game, like it's a ranked game. You shouldn't take it into the context of, oh, this is playing for survival. You know what? That's the job of us casters. We're here to build the story. The players, they just need to focus on the gameplay. So, and speaking of the gameplay, well, let's jump into round one right now. It's gonna be Team Snakes who will be on defense. Orgless 5, all of them grouped up outside of B. Preparing for a rush? Not really sure. But whatever it may be, both of the teams have a plan in place and they have to follow that religiously, because if you don't, if you slip up even once, guess what, guys? This is going to be the lower brackets and we may see any of the teams falling out very, very shortly. And I'm getting to know that a slight pause has been called. Not sure by which one of the teams, but hopefully whatever issue they have, since we're just at the start of the match, whatever issue they have, they can resolve it as soon as possible.
Yeah, even I can't wait for this game to get started. I think they're probably having like a TeamSpeak issue or something. That's why they have stopped for a bit. But then again, hey, tech issues can not be avoided for the most part. What can be avoided is the loss of a pistol round. The thing is with this team, Orgless 5, whenever they're on an eco round, they will try such weird stuff that will definitely surprise their opponents. And I don't think they'll take a risk like that in the pistol round, but the subsequent round, they might force or something like that. So that's what I'm, really excited to see. But here we go. We start with Orgless 5 on the attacking side. Right off the bat, they're heading straight down mid.
Yeah, and no one from Team Snakes is, contesting mid right now. It's an interesting strategy. Because the thing is, they've split apart their defense into two equal halves. Rotations can be cut off, however, Orgless 5 are not going to commit to it. As soon as the dings happen on Reyna, they were like, let's fall back, let's execute onto another bomb site. They've chosen A as their target right now, and they're going to get into the bomb site pretty quickly. Hacker looking to get the opening kill. No, he's going to be the opening casualty. One kill taking place in favor of Orgless 5, but Team Snakes, through and through, they're looking to keep control of this bomb site.
Oh my god, Soulmate popping off. That's his third kill for the round. Single-handedly decimating them, taking control of both the generators and the tree region. And with this, they've successfully managed to send the attackers back. We have Wimp heading towards the B side, while God Vexy tries to keep them busy over here and buy some space for his fellow teammate. Yeah, he's bought the space, but at the cost of his life. Hold on. Wimp is not going for the plant. He wants to get a kill first. And that's exactly why he's placed that smoke towards the bottom of A heaven. He doesn't realize that the door is already broken. He was trying to press that button. Yeah, it's okay. He's still gonna have enough time to reposition in the back of sight. But can he do that? No, he's going for a fight towards CD instead. Whew, a very brave approach, but I wouldn't blame him for the actions he did over there. And I love how Orgless 5 just completely left mid open. So what they did was, instead of leaving Killjoy utility on mid, like an alarm bot or something, which teams usually do, they just shut down the mid door right at the start of the round. That way, if Orgless 5 goes for a mid plus B push, they'll have to break the mid door and then pick up a fight, which is incredibly difficult, or just fall back towards a shot. And Team Snakes accounted for that. They knew that Orgless 5, the moment they see this door blocked, they're going to realize that Snakes have prepared for a mid plus B execute. Let's fall back to option B. Let's fall back to the other side, A shot, and use that as an advantage. Nah,
yeah,
they accounted for that too. Like every time, every step of the way, Team Snakes, they accounted for all the actions that Orgless 5 can take, and they manipulated them in throwing the advantage away.
Well, right now, half Team Snakes taking into account that Orgless 5 are going to go for a force buy. You were mentioning it, Crips, that, Orgless 5 like things like that. And after losing the eco, this is a bold maneuver right here. They've gone for Spectre's half armor shooter. Excellent shot right there. But Sai, he isn't backing off at all. He pushes deeper into enemy territory, this time losing out his life. The reinforcements are here. King will be good for another. And after all the decimation that's happened, Orgless 5, with their supporting members, they do manage to take side control. They're going to plant the spike, another economic boost, just like it was in the pistol round after Wimp planted the spike. However, now, the problem is both the members of Team Snake, they're pushing together. Wimp, can he hold on? Well, from the looks of it, he absolutely can. He gets one kill, backs off, and now he's playing safe and sound.
HSB has all the utility he needs, and he doesn't even need to use any of that. Doesn't even see his enemy Wimp before he shoots him down, but the fourth line towards lane 1 tells Vexy exactly the timing he's going to peek out at, and he's present. Couldn't even have flashed that position out of that smoke over there. So, yeah, I kind of like that smoke. It blocked out any flashing possibilities that HSB had. The only flash that he can throw is towards the boathouse, but he can't flash lane 2 out of that smoke. Unless he accurately predicts where it's going to land using the mini-map. But then, it's not really that possible. But yeah, Orgless 5 forcing in a lost round and winning it, negating the pistol round advantage from Team Snakes. I hate to say this, but I saw this coming.
Well, right now, this certainly puts the economies and the credit economies of both the teams in such a weird position as Sai. Even though he was affected by the fault line, excellent crosshair control and excellent crosshair positioning as well alongside his recoil control. There isn't much recoil when you're just in that zone. However, he still managed to get the kill off, and this is just Team Snakes, not being in the zone. They don't have the best of weaponry. They're on a semi-eco buy. They've got upgraded pistols. They are hitting their shots. Well, Shooter surely is. And it allows him to get one kill. Abdo following through as well, but he's the only person alive. I guess Orgless 5 are just going to take their time. They don't want to shut him down. They don't want to kill him. They do now. I guess they were, in my eyes, they were looking for a spike plant on the B bomb side first, but when the prey is right in front of you, why wait?
Yeah, patience is something that I think both of these teams lack at times. That's why they can't wait to get in their opponent's faces and pick up the fights. And hey, you know what? I'm glad you pointed this out, because that's the defining characteristic of both these teams. A lack of patience sometimes.
And that's a positive or a negative?
That's up to you to decide. It's a characteristic, man. Now, whether it's
Right.
positive or negative, that's up to you to decide. And, it mostly is decided by the outcome of the game. Oh, this time Team Snakes have changed their approach. They have put an alarm bot and a nanoswarm grenade on mid. I'm assuming they're going to leave the mid door open, and that's why Orgless 5 this time don't back off. They continue pushing deeper into mid plus B. Now, no smokes available. That kind of indicates that they want to pick up a fight towards CT, and Shooter wins the fight against Blackhawk, who surprisingly is playing the Jet today instead of the Omen. The Omen, however, is present towards Shot, and Sai wants to fight him. Both of them are flashed by each other's near sights, and Abdur wins the battle. Meanwhile, his teammates have snuck into the B side, now trying to plant the spike, but Wimp is left all by himself. He at least has more HP than both of his enemies combined, so that should help him. But the weapon switch at the wrong time, that kind of made me a bit nervous. Abdur with the fake TP. Wimp is not going to fall for it. He can still play back off B, and he's going to be fine and dandy.
Oh, or will he? Yes, he will. It's going to be Wimp securing the round 1 versus 2. Good stuff from his side, but Orgless 5, they took a massive gamble right there. In the highlights, we are going to be seeing the clutch, but the round-defining moment was them pushing into, like you said, deeper into enemy territory without a single casualty. What that means is, with so many of the defenders still being alive and kicking on the map, it had a very dangerous way with which Orgless 5 could have been shut down, because Team Snakes could have rotated from so many angles. We saw rotations happening from near defender spawn. That's where Shooter got one of the kills when he was speaking towards the inside of the B bomb side. We saw people pushing in from B as well. So Orgless 5, that was a massive gamble, and honestly, in a way, it almost didn't pay off had it not been for Wimp's insane performance and his individual mechanical ability, something that we have been commending the players of 054 for a long time.
I kind of want to commend Shooter on his shooting skills. He's in a 1v1 against Sai, but he was dual. King, though, deletes Blackhawk. So while they lose a pick towards A main, they at least make up for it by getting the pick on mid. And that's great, because this continues throughout, right? Team Snakes, even though they are lacking weaponry, they don't hesitate picking up these fights deep inside their own enemy's territory. Oh, got a little bamboozled over there, thinking his enemy won't peek him. But it's kind of funny how Team Snakes will dedicate the whole lockdown in an eco round. I thought they'll probably save it for a round where they have more money, or maybe even
A better
weaponry,
situation.
better situations. Fine. I mean, at least with this, both the Killjoys have lost their lockdowns, and the Sovas are free to use their Hunter's Fury in any way they imagine. They don't have to wait to destroy a lockdown.
Right, that is going to be really helpful as well. And once more, it's going to help Orgless 5 if they want to execute into a bomb site. Team Snakes if they want to go for a retake. Many situations. Hunter's Fury, kind of like Sova, is pretty versatile as Blackhawk. He gets a really nice moving shot onto HSB, forcing the likes of Abdo to go back into the bomb site since he's the only member in A right now. Team Snakes have to call in for reinforcements. The rotations are taking place. King, yep, gets an amazing kill right there with the same weaponry that we were talking about with the ultimate. But Orgless 5, they managed to sneak into the bomb site. Sai in a very crucial position. Oh, good question.
The spike is all the way on a shot, and the one person who could have carried it back, Sai, is now dead. In fact, Wim doesn't even want to collect the spike. He's just going for the kills. Excuse me, sir. This is not deathmatch. And how will they go for it now? But that being said, I don't think even Team Snakes are aware that the spike is dropped on mid. Look at that. Any person peeking from the bottom of mid will not be able to see the spike because of that narrow dent that the spike is inside. The stairs block the vision cone. Imagine being at a disadvantage and Team Snakes never realized that. And now they'll realize it. Now they kill the spike carrier and Blackhawk is almost dead already. So that's a clean and dusted round.
This turn from bad to worse to the side of Orgless 5
Yeah.
first. It was the execute as well. Just not working. There are times where this kind of an execute from Orgless 5 works very well because they aren't going for 5-man committed pushes. Many a times they'll have one person lurking. And I think that role has permanently been given to Sai. Because earlier in the B take, we saw Sai playing towards top mid just at the beginning of Catwalk. He got one kill towards A main. Right now he was playing bottom mid near Market Pizza. In this case though, he lost his life. But still, he's on the lurk role. And then you have members who are pushing near the bomb site as well. So it's not a full-on 5-man alt push that they are going for. Orgless 5 are spread a lot more over the map. Even we can see the duelist duo is moving towards mid, trying to gain control as the rest of the supporting members alongside the spike try to get some info as to what exactly is happening towards A main. We saw the owl drone go off from Vexy. It tagged one member, it got destroyed, and now KG utility is being thrown towards A main as well.
And here we go. Let's see how effective this KG utility is. They've already baited out the Nano Swarm, but the breach being in this corner, it's going to send everybody with the bot line. Finally, they make for it. They deal with the losses immediately, and Wimp is popping off, neutralizing the man advantage to some extent, but still one person extra on Team Snakes might make the difference. From the Shadows committed. He's going for 2 teleports. Okay, one with the ultimate and one with the fake. I don't know what he's trying to sell over here, but it definitely isn't bothering Team Snakes. They're still holding their ground. They're going to wait for the spike plant and then decide what to do. They pinned Hacker down over here. He somehow makes it back to his generator without being killed. I am very surprised that happened. But now, where do they take the post-plant positions? They can stay on the side, but they cannot go along. Wimp is good for the green boxes, ready to defend one over here. But Shooter's revealed his position. That forces Hacker to fight against King. Shooter now down in the trenches. Has to go for either a classic kill or switch to a different weapon. And he's picked up the Vandal instead. Playing the Cloudburst, hoping to buy some time or maybe bait out Hacker's mistake. And Hacker will be unrelenting over here.
You know, while that whole KJ versus Sova thing was going on near Gardens, near the door, I'm thinking what exactly was Shooter doing? Because by the time Wimp was already a dead man walking, right? He was gone out of the round and he was killed. So it was all a Hacker left by himself. So where was Shooter? Was he still trying to find an angle at which to kill KJ? Because the thing was, in this scenario, even though both the members of Team Snakes were on the opposite ends of the map, one coming from Heaven, one pushing in from Gardens, they could have just isolated those gunfights and bombarded Hacker from so many angles. He couldn't have 180'd and turned around. But still, it just didn't work in their favor, I guess. Orgless 5, they end up taking this round for themselves. Great stuff from their side because it was a buy round. They dropped the operator, and the members of Team Snakes, well, they have to go for that full op buy once more in order to allow Shooter to keep that bit of sniper with him.
Okay, so Snakes have put down the alarm bot and they've shut the mid door. Usually teams don't do both those things at the same time. Kinda not utilizing the utility properly, but hey, as long as it keeps Orgless 5 in check, I am fine with it. And not just check, they might just put them in the grave over here with position of Shooter. And in case Shooter misses, he's got backup of the Sova as well. So things cannot go wrong for Team Snakes. Orgless 5 waiting on a mistake, praying on Team Snakes to break. They're just looking for a pick towards mid. After that, they'll commit. And now the time is running out. They're like, no, we can't wait for Team Snakes to make a mistake any longer. We have to make a move. And they start going towards the B side. Lockdown committed and God Vexy gets that opening frag. They should clear out the side and allow them to plant. But once again, will Team Snakes go for the push before the plant even happens? The Rolling Thunder comes in and Abdur and HSP have already picked up the kills. The Aftershock clears out the narrower angles. They have to fight towards B side now. And in the back of sight, it's only God Vexy and Wimp keeping the hope alive. Time is running out and so is their HP. Oh my goodness, Team Snakes get that timing window down to perfection. They let Orgless 5 into the site after the lockdown pops, but they do not let them commit the spike plant. The Rolling Thunder blows everyone off their feet the moment they enter.
Yeah, there was the Rolling Thunder, there was the Paranoia from up there as well. More so, it was just about pure positioning. What happened from the likes of Team Snakes, because the Killjoy lockdown allowed them to just form this group right outside on the outskirts, on the boundary of that lockdown. Everyone was primed and ready. Like you said, they allowed the members of Orgless 5, they were forced to let the members of Orgless 5 into the bomb site because of the lockdown, whatever you may want to call it. O5 got in the bomb site, but then were immediately shut down, as looks like to be this push from the side of Orgless 5. Abdul gets 1 kill, HSB is there for the trade. Yes, Orgless 5 are trying to get back in the numbers, and they may just have, if they can dispatch Shooter, which no, they cannot. Look at those beautiful 2 kills. That's going to be a third, and that's going to be the round. Whether it be the Operator, be it the Vandal, Shooter lives up to his name.
Shooting people in the head, best way to win the round. Nothing complicated. They just straight up hold the site. The rotations from Team Snakes are so quick. Everyone's peeking on the back of heaven, peeking out from the bottom of the A-shot door. And Orgless 5 just step foot into the site and they're already getting pummeled by all these players. Nothing complicated was involved in the round. It's a simple rotate and defend. And why complicated when this simple trick can do the job?
It's as easy as that. Orgless 5, I mean, this is an eco round, granted, not much is gonna happen right here. It's just gonna be, you know, absolute domination from Team Snakes. They have to make sure they don't give away free rifles to their side, to their opposition, plain and simple. But overall, for the side of Orgless 5, I think something that may help them has to be like delaying their pushes and going for fakes. Because so far what is happening is, Team Snakes, as soon as they see the likes of Orgless 5 and they hear multiple members or they get visual confirmation, everyone starts rotating, like you mentioned, very rapidly. They use all of their utility. If Orgless 5 can try and sell some sort of a fake, you know, let the members of Team Snakes use all their utility like they're doing right now. All Killjoy utility is there. Soulmate, he's gonna get a triple kill. Yes, the attackers are near the bomb site, but still, this looks like to be a very defender-sided round, or it may not be. Sai was on a spree. However, there's another man who surely is. Soulmate sitting on 4 kills.
On the verge of an ace, Soulmate goes for his glorious moment, shutting them all down, all by himself. We are at 5-5, and Soulmate gets 5 for himself. Some poetries just write themselves.
Like that one. And well, right now for Team Snakes, alright, they've managed to claw their way back into a neutral position against Orgless 5. They were down a lot of rounds, but they've managed to win 3 consecutively. The thing is, we are nearing the end of the first half. This is the penultimate round. You have to win here for both the rosters. The economies aren't doing well, but sooner rather than later, it's not going to matter too much. I believe something like a 6-6 is a very rational outcome of this half. And both the teams, I mean, left or right, they should be fine with being equal once the side swap happens. It's essentially after that, then the main question will be asked who's going to be in a favorable position. But so far, Orgless 5, they're investing their utility, trying to get information. They have to wait for Team Snakes to make a move. And Team Snakes are not. They're actually going to A. They're thinking this is something along the lines of a fake. They only have HSB playing on the back of the B bomb side. If they can successfully smoke him off, Omen goes for his teleport as well. Wimp is near the back of the boathouse. And Team Snakes, they just, none of the rotations have been cut off. They have free sightlines. However, Convexy, while moving, he gets a double headshot.
And that's certainly going to change things. Team Snakes were aware of the potential push, but they didn't want to contest Orgless 5 right off the bat. They were hoping for a retake play. But now, the main person responsible for the retake, the man holding the Rolling Thunder, is dead. He has to use it in the next round or something. 2 versus 3. Both the members of Team Snakes coming in from different areas of the map, and only one of them will be covered by a smoke. Soulmate just hoping that nobody will backstab him because he's still paranoid that someone might come in from mid as a late lurk after makes his opening move. But Soulmate's been dealt with already, and now his position's also revealed. He's better off just saving. Doesn't even get to do that. Now, not just the round, but even economic damage dealt over here to Team Snakes. And man, I really think that they were playing just on the outskirts of the B side because they wanted to go in for a retake. Because consider this, Abdul had already pushed out of A main. So Team Snakes are aware that this is either a full B push or a mid plus B commitment. And that's why you see that Team Snakes were trying to check mid, and even Soulmate placed an alarm bot before entering the site towards
Yep.
CT, because he's still paranoid that someone from Orgless 5 will come from mid. But that just simply did not happen. And they were hoping that even if they lose the B site, they can play on the back of the Rolling Thunder. Yeah, that never happened because HSB got deleted instantly.
See, that was again, yeah, the initial kill matters a lot. Right now, it's gonna be a lot dependent on the initial kill as well for Team Snakes. You know, they are still looking to head into the second half with an equal score. That's a brilliant shot right there from King, playing around the smokes. Wimp though, he got smoked himself, using his own utility at his disadvantage in a way. Team Snakes, they managed to get an advantage. You know, they have the manpower right now. They are overpowering the members of Orgless 5, who are still figuring out what exactly is going to be their maneuver to go into the bomb site, to go for something of an execute, because the spike is all alone towards, like, with Hacker towards, you know, B main. However, the attackers, they're pushing through, like, market, that is. It's going to be the duelist duo going right here, and the recon ball goes through. There's the peek from Soulmate. Excellent stuff. Shooter as well, peeking from behind. This was a premeditated plan, and it's a plan that has gone like with a 100% success rate. That was amazing stuff from Snakes right there.
Imagine using the Hunter's Fury to kill just one person. That's a massive commitment. You would much rather use it now, because in the next round they've got bigger ultimates, better ones, the Rolling Thunder and Lockdown. Wait, are you serious? They're using the Rolling Thunder to kill just one person?
Oh no. Oh.
I really would have... And the Lockdown is this...
I mean, it's the final round. It's the final. I mean, it doesn't
yeah,
matter.
sure. Why not? Why not?
Mm-hmm.
Just throw in everything you got. Bully them. Give them no chance.
Hey, that's my rank team. Except it's not the final round. It's the round whenever they get their ultimates.
Yeah, exactly,
And-
right? I mean, like, I agree in the last round, go for it. But it kind of seems like overkill.
Well, a kill is a kill nonetheless. And having a look at the scorecard as well, Wimp alongside Sai, this is exactly what you were talking about, Wimp. Even the previous match, Orgless 5 played against Exili, he had like overall 35 kills, and he was playing the Omen. One of the maps was Ascent. So far, he is not disappointing. And Shooter as well, it's good for him to be back in his old forms. He's also top fragging for his own roster. And after yesterday's performance, this is going to be a far better morale boost for him and for the remaining 4 members of Team Snakes as well. As now we move on over to the side swap, it's going to be HSP getting the opening kill. Sai as well, all alone against 3 attackers. He gets 1 kill, but Orgless 5 have overcommitted. The bomb site now can go into the hands of Team Snakes very rapidly.
Yeah, and no matter how many rotations are here, the numbers advantage still lies with Orgless 5. But oh my god, Blackhawk! He paints their faces black with lead, shoving his ghost bullets into their heads, and now Soulmate's trapped. On one hand, there's Blackhawk. On the other hand, he can't leave. Hacker doesn't even let him peek out. And at 1 HP, how many dreams can he fulfill? Nope, nothing at all.
Oh.
Hacker pulls off the biggest killjoy diff with a turret kill, out of all things.
I hate Killjoy utility, I'm sorry. But anyways.
It is annoying.
Especially in the pistols, especially it's Sage Wall that's the worst in pistol rounds. Then it's all forms of KJ utility, whether it be the nano swarms, alarm bot, still a meh, but the turret as well. Regardless of that, all right, rounds done. Orgless 5 very closely around that they should not have won, that they won thanks to Blackhawk getting a triple kill right now. Now they can go for a proper anti-eco. Team Snakes, they've still made a little bit of an investment. We spotted the Marshal on their side as well, and they're going for upgraded pistols. Is it going to make that big of a difference? We have to find out. Shooter though, he makes work of that Marshal. Sai, who got 1 kill, is going to be the casualty, and we are going to be seeing Orgless 5 be a lot more aggressive than usual. You know, Wimp is going to be picking the angle. He spots, shoots Shooter, and backs off.
Timing. Could have been a death there, but hey, they get the kill in the end. So both teams losing a player each towards A main. But that's the thing. After that Omen push, he did not see anyone else on A main. And they might think that Team Snakes is going towards B, unless they hear the footsteps, which they have done now. The one-way smoke is missed, but that's okay. They were never intending to fight on the back of that one-way smoke. Wimp just wants to buy time for his fellow Killjoy to rotate back on towards the A side. That fault line is going to stun both of them towards generators, and it's going to cripple there effectively. But Wimp still gets a kill even after he was stunned. That's alright. Blackhawk also trading 2v2, and now both the members of Orgless 5 should be able to pick up the guns of the fallen Orgless 5 members. No, Shooter still opting for the Marshal, getting a nice headshot. Vexy has to do a massive job over here. First, he needs to deal with Shooter, who's not that keen on fighting him. He's just juggle peeking around the corner, but the one time he commits, he takes his head off. HSB swings immediately. Very close round. And what is it with these teams losing the round after pistol?
That's exactly what I was gonna say. I mean, this wasn't even a proper force from Team Snakes. Orgless 5 went all out with Spectre's half armor. This was just Marshall, couple of upgraded pistols. And for that very reason, Team Snakes, they're heading into the next round as well with a lot on board. They're gonna go for full armor, you know, rifles. You've got Vandals, and for Orgless 5, it's a weak buy, you know. Yeah, we are spotting sheriffs, we're spotting marshals. Granted, this always happens if you lose your traditional anti-eco round, and it's gonna affect Orgless 5 here as well. They're going to have to see the consequences of their actions by losing out on that round. But in this case, though, Blackhawk, he can take his revenge on Shooter. He has got the Marshal. All he needs to do is hit the headshot. And that's something that, well, not Blackhawk necessarily, but Wimp surely is going to do as he gets the opening kill of the round, taking away one of the initiators on Team Snakes.
Once that's done, Team Snakes might not have the best way to get into the site, but they still can do so using the Killjoy lockdown. Now, whether they commit it in this round or save it for a rainy day is something we'll have to see. But Team Snakes are still keeping their options open. While they have Shooter probing and prodding on A long, they have the Spike traveling from A short, while still keeping an eye on mid in case Orgless 5 decide to push up. Shooter gets the opening pick. Now that's the opportunity he was waiting for. Wimp is kind of trapped over here. No backup available, no place to hide either. He's gonna die like a rat, getting shot by both the sides, and the site now belongs to the attackers. Orgless 5 have to mount a retake, and with the amount of weaponry they have, it doesn't seem very easy.
And that's the thing, Orgless 5, they rely a lot on their traditional anchors, where a team like Team Snakes would instigate like rotations very quickly. Orgless 5, like the players in the bomb side, they can go for the kills. When it doesn't work, now they're really stuck in a portal right here, because they have to figure out this retake. And like you mentioned, the resources on there, the positions as well, they're decent at the very best. However, the main thing is they're outnumbered, plain and simple. Spike's gonna get planted, and Orgless 5, they're just gonna be either A, falling back, or B, looking for exit frags. That's something that Sai can try and do. He's got the Leo as well. He has the Spectre. Whatever it may be, yeah, that's gonna be it. Team Snakes, they'll be taking the win. Not a lot of damage dealt to their side as well. I mean, with the exception of the one casualty that they faced, they still managed to save over all of their rifles. All 4 of the rifles that they bought, they are carrying on over to the next round. So Orgless 5 in a bit of economic disadvantage against their opponents.
Economy's not the worst time to have an economic breakdown, right? There's still plenty of rounds left to be played. 8-7, the second half has just started. I mean, one would much rather have this economic meltdown now than at something like 11-10 or, you know, closer scoreline. Either way, we've seen teams pull off miracles on the eco rounds, but Blackhawk won't be pulling off anything with the blade stop. Gets denied instantly. God, Vexy also can't help. Sai doesn't fall back. He tries to get away, but he's gonna get chased down. Somehow still alive. Gets away with 2 murders in cold blood. Hacker is now here, but he can only hold a crossfire angle. Can't help Sai like that. And with 2 HP, there's not much that he could have accomplished in the first place. HSB gets dinked. These eco weapons are proving to be much more fruitful than what they were originally intended to be. But still, Orgless 5, the chances of winning this round, not that high. The best that they can do is recover the weapons, and one of them has already done so. Wimp has a Vandal, can probably go for a save. Hacker can continue pushing in. But then again, these guys will have a buy in the next round anyway, so why not just throw yourself at them?
Absolutely, you know, take away their lives, get a couple of kills for yourself. Team Snakes backed off into the bomb site, however, not backed off in the literal sense. Well, now, Hacker and Wimp getting a kill. This can be a good scenario. Soulmate, he's got to stay alive for a little bit longer. And not only does he survive, but he thrives in the situation as well. That's going to be a 1 versus 2 clutch. Thanking his team. And, you know, his team thanking him also more specifically because Orgless 5 could have almost pulled it off, but the fact that they weren't able to, the fact that Team Snakes further extended the scoreline 9-7 puts the defenders at a far worse situation, because ever since the second half has started, Orgless 5 have only won the pistol round. This can be their redemption. This can be their second chance. They're going to go for a full buy. 5 rifles are on board, up against 5 rifles. Ultimates favoring Team Snakes a bit, but Orgless 5 have to make do with what they have.
And they've made do with even lesser. Like, getting 4 kills in an ego round like that is no easy task. But look at the amount of aggression from Orgless 5 now. They pushed all the way down mid. They haven't seen anyone. This clearly indicates a B hit. This is not a fake. The lockdown has also been committed. Now, how do Orgless 5 go for the retake? They have no choice but to go for the retake. They don't have any AoE utility. The only ultimates they have is probably the Omen ultimate. And the best that he can do is act like a very expensive recon dart before he gets instantly sent back to where he came from. Sai also just waiting for someone to peek before he can break that alarm bot and reveal his position. But hey, all the cards are on the table. All you have to do is deal them. Soulmate dealing with Sai, backstabs, no problem. Rolling Thunder keeps everyone else at bay, and this seems like a round that Team Snakes will win without any sweat.
Oof. Absolutely. Okay, nice shot from Vexy, but Shooter with a triple kill. I mean, is it time, Crips, to call it? Is it time to call something like Team Snakes can win it? I guess Team Snakes can win it. That statement, I still need a couple more rounds. But are they in an absolute, like, certain, obvious advantage compared to how Orgless 5 are playing as soon as the side swap has happened?
Yeah.
That is something that can be agreed upon, because so far, yeah, Orgless 5, they have been struggling a bit as soon as they came onto the defense, which is weird. You would think like a team like Orgless 5, they would do well on their defense. A team that really knows their hit and run tactics, they can incorporate that into their defense, but for some reason, they've just been getting picked off. That's the thing. They're not going for trades. They're not going for their tactics. They're just dying and then being forced into a position where they can't play from. Even look at Wimp right now, 77 HP, the paranoia goes through, but the attackers are well within their rights to go into the bomb side and get the opening kill.
Exactly. I mean, sometimes even after Orgless 5 do everything correctly, they just get out-aimed, and because Soulmate's having a terrific day. I don't think anyone else can match up to his level today. He's feeling himself. Even Shooter for that matter. And Abdul, both of them playing aggressive positions on top of Heaven, literally challenging Orgless 5 to come in and pick up a fight against them. They pick up the fight towards the other side instead. Soulmate playing on the back of HSP Splashes is just waiting for someone to walk in. The crossfire between these guys on Generator and Soulmate is incredibly potent, but it's not potent enough to let Blackhawk sneak through. He gets away for just a moment, and Sai needs to use that window to get a kill or two. Gets only one, and Hacker can't finish the job. Soulmate with yet another quad kill. How many multi-kills does this guy have already? He must have had an entire frag highlight dedicated to him by the end of this map.
He's had... So, Soulmate has had 2 4 kills. If he gets another, shouldn't we call him Soul 12? Because 2 4 are...
I see what you did there. Math jokes. They're much better than universe math jokes. And he's already gotten an ace too.
That's the only that's the only time you'll see me good at math. It's when I'm making jokes. Actual math and accounts,
Yeah, no.
it's only a Tuesday.
Not
It's only a
happening.
Tuesday. Yeah.
Sai once again getting away with murder. But will Shooter follow him? Yes, Shooter is going in for the kill, but he has no backup. So this is a straight up 1v1 duel which he can just win and back off. In case Sai was able to win that, that would have been a mistake. But hey, now that both the teams are at 4-4, you can justify that. Kinda brave for Shooter to push over there all by himself, because Sai has backup over there. If Blackhawk was just a little bit earlier to the action, probably could have gotten away with the trade. But hey, with this, you've got a lockdown committed on the B side, but both the Omens are just playing at each other. One of them going for a teleport, one of them going for a smoke, and it's just a comedy of errors with Orgless 5 looking like the clowns.
I mean, okay, there isn't much to say about the round. I mean, the only thing, except for what happened towards the end with the flurry of kills favoring Team Snakes. The thing was that, yeah, the rotations from Orgless 5, we've been talking about those and mentioning those for a while. And even right now, this was a clear-cut example of those just not working in favor. I mean, this wasn't your classic rotation like, oh, the opponents are going to the B bomb side. We can think about that. This was a lot more emergency needed for Sai. He needs help towards mid, but the point still stands. Whether this is because of communication lacking on the side of Orgless 5, or it's because of just poor play positioning, no matter what the reason is. The thing is that overall they are suffering a bit. And once more, Wimp, he's gonna stay in the bomb side. Orgless 5, they are waiting for the rotations. The rotates are gonna happen, but more so, the kills are absolutely favoring them.
Wimp getting all that he can done on the side, had no exit avenue, has to give up his life, go down swinging. But in a 3v3, the only thing that can save them is the Rolling Thunder. It hits his teammates so they can't follow up, but the arc shot could be perfect. Even the shock darts have been thrown up. Oh, they don't damage, they only stun. And HSB loses his life to a double peak like that. All the advantage that they had has been thrown away, and so they need to put off yet another clutch. But this time, the clutch genes just simply don't favor him. Yeah, sure, you can win the round, but I don't think using a lockdown to celebrate the win is justified. Especially when you have a mountain to climb when you're at 8-12.
Yeah, it's a while because before Orgless 5 can try and contest the members of Team Snakes and still try to show everyone that they're still in the game, because even if they get 4 consecutive rounds, the thing is they're still playing for overtime, and we know overtime is a Pandora's box. It's better left unsaid until you have to open it and see what's gonna happen. It's really very uncertain. So for now, let's keep the cards on the table. Let's keep it how it is. Orgless 5, they still need 4 rounds, plain and simple. They're gonna be on their attack. Only a single ultimate, and it's really not a team ult. It's going to be the Blade Storm, and it's going to be used from Blackhawk as well. So he has to get kills as the members of Team Snakes, they're pushing down B. It's going to be a split take. There's the Hunter Spirit, there's the Recon Bolt tagging a lot of the members. Can they stay alive? Blackhawk, can he get a kill? No, he won't be able to. Plus, with the fact that God Vexy is on 37 HP, can he do much? He gets 1. That's that. Side control going in favor of Team Snakes.
All the cards to the table, and Orgless 5 need to pull up an ace off their sleeve. Sai, he's trying to go in for the market push, but Wimp gets a free kill onto King. And with that, he's now got his ultimate available. Uses it as a very expensive recon dart to figure out the positions of his enemies, and then hopefully he and Sai can retake together. In a 2v2, they know that they've got the Killjoy isolated, but she just about manages to get away to the back of sight. The crossfire between the members of Team Snakes is not that potent, but the paranoia certainly is. It should blind the Killjoy. Soulmate turns around, still gets the kill, dodges it, and he gets all of them! This guy's having the game of his life, and Soulmate is on fire.
Yep. Seeing Team Snakes right now as well. They know that this is just the first battle. It's going to be a war. Next up is going to be Icebox. However, this means a lot to their side. The fact that they've won on the map of their opposition, on the map that the members of Orgless 5 chose, it means a lot for their side. And Orgless 5, we are seeming a bit distraught right now, going over and talking through what exactly went wrong and how exactly they can improve as well, because that's going to be their biggest concern right now. How indeed to make sure that they don't lose out on Icebox, because if they lose there, they are out of the gauntlet.
They're already a leg down and down against the walls. They have the backs against the wall, sorry, and they need to win the next map. If not, then they are out of the gauntlet. They need to have ice cold veins and be completely ready to take Icebox by the callers, because Team Snakes, their Icebox is pretty damn strong. I mean, there was a time when I used to say that Icebox is predictable for Team Snakes, but even after you predict them, you can't stop them. Well, that was a couple of months ago. Right now, even the predictability, their playbook, and their firepower, everything is improved. So, yeah, Team Snakes are clearly the better team on Icebox. Can Orgless 5 make a good run? Before we go over there, I want to talk about Soulmate. Better than talking, let me just show you what Soulmate did. This guy was on fire this entire time. I'm pretty sure the highlights are mostly going to contain Soulmate clips, and sometimes Wimp pulling off the occasional clutch.
Yeah, that was the thing. We saw a lot of notable members as well, but overall just favored the likes of Team Snakes. Like everyone was fragging, everyone had their shining moment. You even had members like Sky, like Blackhawk with his triple kill, even though Blackhawk overall had a quieter, like relatively quieter day than compared to his teammates. They were shining moments for everyone playing this match, but all in all, Team Snakes just had the better team game. Either they had the communication down, which to me, I think that's the main reason. Their comms were a lot better than what was happening on in the communication of Orgless 5. Like their rotations were a lot quicker, and they could predict and they could position themselves in such a way that Orgless 5, either A, they were caught off guard, or B, even if they anticipated that, they lost the gunfight. And we saw this a lot towards a little later in the first half. After the initial couple of rounds, once Team Snakes got to start to get in the groove, that's when they started winning. That's when they were holding these angles, the crossfires, everything was being maintained, and it kept on going in their favor. Soulmate got the ace. Yeah, another brilliant highlight clip right there. And on more than one occasion, Team Snakes were just looking like the better roster in a major way.
Yeah, in the first half, Team Snakes were looking like the better roster, most probably because they were focusing on mid quite a lot. You remember how in the first few rounds, August 5 were just using mid plus B, mid, then back off to a shot, and that kind of,
Right.
you know, conditioned Team Snakes into putting at least one or two members on mid towards the later end of that first half. Whereas if you saw the opening, they never had any players on mid. So Team Snakes adapted that. And by having players on mid, they could rotate much faster to either bomb site and intercept August 5 before they made their moves. And then we get to the second half. I mean, this was just Team Snakes rolling in with all the momentum. And I use the word rolling because how many times did we see HSB use that ultimate? He farmed up his ultimate like 2, 3 times in the same half. That was ridiculous. And if you have an ultimate like that and a map like Ascent, you will bombard your opponents like crazy. Easy frags for you all day long. And Team Snakes were just, it seemed like they were using nothing but their firepower to deal with the opposition in the second half. They never even needed to pull out any complicated strats. They never went for a split push. Most likely, they did the simple B rushes and A rushes, and it worked. Why fix something that's not broken?
Hmm. And if there's something that needs fixing, it's going to be August 5 and their overall kill streak as well, because there were so many of the rounds where as soon as the members of Team Snakes, they got the initial kill, like you said, the momentum was with them and they just kept moving on forward and forward, snowballing into a better and better round, and everything just fell into their lap. And August 5, they were left with nothing in their hands. Great play from Soulmate, 294 average combat score in a close match like this. Well, it was really close up until the half. Until the half, and then as soon as the side swap happened, it was an instant change. That was that. But more so, it's going to be a major change from here on out as well. It's going to be Icebox, and a lot is going to change there as well. Before we head for a break, Crips, what is your one like expectation from Icebox? Oh, it looks like you're muted.
Sorry, my
Oh.
bad, my bad. Um, Canada tells you a lot of the comes of these teams, right?
Mhm.
No damage intended. But hey, so Team Snakes, I think they're gonna have a very dominant first half, and because of that, they should be able to carry momentum forward into the next round, into the next half. So that's my expectation.
Yeah, absolutely. But so far, we're going to let the teams, take a bit of rest as well. They absolutely need the break. They need to go over their mistakes, refine all of them. But for now, everyone, you are watching LG Ultragear presents the Esports Club Season 4, powered by Crucial with our gaming partners Intel. Again, go down in the description. Intel provides you the best gaming performance by offering you the best gaming experience. Follow the hashtag Game with Intel to see what they're up to. You've got great merch with our apparel partner 656 as well. Crips is rocking that. But for now, we're going into a short break. So stay tuned, keep watching, and we'll be right back.
from the legends of memory and storage. Crucial brings you the ultimate performance in gaming. Legendary products. Precision engineered. For speed and stability. Crucial ballistics.
Hey guys, I'm Ankita. Welcome to Streamer Reviews, the place where you can watch gamers review the best new gaming laptops in the market. Gamers love exploring the vivid detailing of their favorite games. This demands a system that can support their immersive experience. So, we'll be checking out the Intel-powered Lenovo Legion 5, a laptop with features that let you dive into the exciting world of gaming. One of the most important aspects of the Lenovo Legion 5 is its 11th Gen Intel Core i7 processor, with a base clock speed of 2.3 GHz up to 4.6 GHz turbo. It flaunts 8 cores, 16 threads and 24 MB cache. The Legion 5 lets you untether your gaming experience with Intel Wi-Fi 6, ensuring you can enjoy your favorite games wherever you like. Play on the go with up to 75% less latency. The Lenovo Legion AI engine optimizes performance automatically to any of the top 16 AAA games you're playing, with auto detection dynamically allocating CPU and GPU usage accordingly to get up to 15% more FPS. Speaking of senses, there's another sense that's also important for an immersive experience: sound. Thankfully, the Legion 5 has this covered as well. A pair of stereo speakers enabled with dynamic audio gives you an immersive 3D audio experience. Why wait? Get your own Lenovo Legion 5 and dive into the world of gaming today.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the LG Ultragear presents TEC Gauntlet Season 4, powered by Crucial. Our gaming partner is Intel, and our partner is Six5Six. Check out the hashtag Game with Intel and check out the products that they have, because these guys provide the best gaming value by providing the best overall gaming experience. That being said, the experience of Orgless 5 in this match has been kind of bumpy.
Yeah, I have to agree. Taking a look at what we have witnessed so far, the map of Ascent chosen by Orgless 5, a 13-8 loss for their side. They were looking good up until it was time for their own defense. That is exactly when it all came shattering down their side. And from that point forward, Team Snakes, they looked adamantly to be in control. Now, going on over to Icebox, the thing is, Team Snakes have played this map. However, the results that they've had, let's just say they've been not very optimal for a team that should be, a lot confident in the map. Like yesterday, we saw Team Snakes up against True Rippers on Icebox. They played double duelists, they played Reyna and Jet, and they ended up losing 13-4. Before that, a bit before that, a couple of days ago, they played this map here in the upper bracket quarterfinals of here, the Gauntlet. They played it against Team Valor. Yes, they won, but they won it by going into overtime 14 to 12. So it goes to show that the wins the Team Snakes have had have been extremely close. They've suffered losses as well, and the fact that they've gone back to Icebox once more, it makes me beg the question that have they finally learned their lesson? Have they refined all of the mistakes that they were making and rectified those mistakes as well, more importantly, that they were making in their previous matchups?
I hope they make their. I hope they fix their mistakes because Icebox happens to be one of the stronger maps of Team Snakes over here. We've seen
Right.
them do those A side executes so many times, and even after we've seen them, they don't change them, and they don't need
Mhm.
to because they work all the time. That's how good these guys are. Let's see if Orgless 5 can get in on this match or not, as we are about to head into the agent selection any second now.
Yep, I am ready for it. I mean, taking a look at the selections for the comp of snakes, their composition doesn't change a lot. Yeah, shooters on the Jet, King is on the Chamber. I wouldn't be surprised if someone like HSB picks up the Arena, and it's going to be double duelist from their side. You've got the Sentinel up the on the Sage. I think it's a fake. I mean, who is he faking? Not really sure, but I don't think Team Snakes will be changing their composition. If they do, then that absolutely shows that they are changing things, and something new is up and coming, and they have learned from their mistakes in the past. As for August 5, well, it's going to be a very, very standard comp for their side. It's going to be, Sova, you've got Chamber, you've got Jet. I wouldn't be surprised if we see a Viper. That's the one thing. Even after the Viper nerf, the thing is, a lot of these teams, they're still extremely adamant on playing her. And Soulmate, he may just pick up that agent, as Abdur does lock in the Sage. So it's not going to be double duelist anymore. Rather, it's going to be double Sentinel from Team Snakes. Interesting.
Yeah, they have a very solid approach to this one. At least on the defensive side, it seems like they can lock things down, but they're starting as attackers. So let's see if Abdur has any crazy creative walls for us to see. Maybe he can use that to plant effectively and safely. But we are yet to see the fifth character come out of Orgless 5. I do assume that they will also pick up a Sage. If not, then probably a Reyna or something along those lines. But then again,
Right.
having consider this, having a Jet, Chamber, and Reyna on the same team, three get out of jail characters. That is the definition of a hit and run playstyle.
Yep, that is very true. And something like for the side, I mean, yeah, right now we're talking about Oculus 5, but yesterday, Team Snakes were really very much going for something like that of a playstyle. When we were seeing them on defense, it didn't work out, mind you. I mean, I'm already giving a spoiler. They got punished for it badly by the side of True Rippers. However, there were many instances where, as defenders, especially someone like HSV playing the arena, he kept on pushing a conveyor belt. He kept on pushing a main, trying to go for the kills. At times they were successful, but like I said, mainly he really badly got punished for it, and it resulted in multiple casualties at the initial start of the round. Like right as soon as the action phase starts, True Rippers ended up getting a couple of frags for themselves. So hit and run tactics, they are very variable. It's high risk, high reward. As a defender, you can pull it off, but you can't consistently keep on pulling it off. That's the thing. This was something yesterday me and Grace we were talking about, that it's not a sustainable place time. Once or twice, pushing an off angle, holding it, getting a kill, falling back, yeah, it works. But every single round, you can't expect your opponents to not catch on to it, especially when you're one of the best teams in South Asia competing against fellow other best teams of the region. You really have to, decrease the amount of times you will be incorporating something like hit and run in your portfolio.
I mean, that's a very risky strat. You have to hit
Mhm.
your shots if you're going for something like that. I mean, sure, Chamber and Jet can still get away with Reyna, cannot. So, do you still have that much risk appetite? Do you still want to play that aggressively against a team that you know is also good aimers? So, yeah, that is a difficult decision in the end. Now, whether you pick up a Sage or whether you pick up that Reyna as your fifth character, it doesn't really matter because the rest of the four characters were the same as we saw. So we have a reason as to why we are not starting with the game yet. Wimp not picked his agent on time, probably because of some internet issue or something. That's how we are back in the waiting screen and not with the, not in game just yet. So bear with us, ladies and gentlemen. We'll get started with the game as soon as possible. Now we've discussed and theorycraft about Icebox quite a lot. Let's just assume for some reason that these guys, Orgless 5, are able to win Icebox and we go to split. What are the chances of going to split? What do you think?
Probability wise, if you're asking me before, like the initial like 4 5 rounds of Icebox, I'd say there's like a 40% chance favoring Orgless 5 we are going to go into split, and 60% chance favoring the likes of Team Snakes that no, it's gonna end here. But after the initial couple of rounds, then we can make a far fairer judgment, seeing at how the game is progressing. But even if we go on split, it's a whole different kind of worms, because the thing is, even there, I'm gonna talk about the compositions again. Team Snakes yesterday, they had such an interesting composition. They brought, like, it was a comp which we have seen from their side, but I was really interested by it, especially after the controller changes. They brought out double controller, Astra Viper, double duelist. That was their comp. Now, it's no shocker. Like I just said, we've seen them play it, but the fact that even after the said changes, the nerves, the hits that have gone on to Astra and Viper, the fact that they managed to go for it again was pretty interesting. Now, though, everything seems to be back up and running. Wimp, as we saw his cam reconnecting as well, he seems to be back in the lobby. Hopefully he can choose his agent, and I don't think the teams will be changing their compositions anytime soon. Yeah, it's going to be the same from the side of Team Snakes. Shooter will be closing it out with the Jet, and Wimp chooses the KO. Double initiator. Oh.
KO on Icebox.
Yeah.
I don't really know how I feel about this. Do you still go for the Sova? Seems like they're gonna do it. Wow. A double initiator. Brave, bold combination by Orgless 5 over here. I thought they will definitely pick up a Sentinel at the very least, maybe like a Sage or something. But no, it seems like they want to wake up and choose violence. They want to make sure that the Orgless 5 members can't use their abilities. I think they're fine with that, right? We've seen Orgless 5 go naked, just shoot their heads off so many times before. We've seen them do no utility rushes. So I think the KO pick is just going to let Orgless 5 channel their aggression even harder.
They absolutely can. And you know what exactly is going on in the minds of Team Snakes as well. You know, keeping that in mind, like what exactly will the discussions be happening as they can take a look at the composition Orgless 5 are on and seeing KO. I guess the main reason why KO has been brought is to use his knife and disable any hopes of, or you know, the members of Team Snakes to use their defensive abilities. Something like that. Maybe. I mean, that's the only major reason where my mind goes, thinking why KO can be used. Because, and of course, you have his fragment as well. You have the molly. You can use that to, you know, isolate the defenders and push them out of those pesky corners. Because even after the recent changes, there's so many of these off angles the members can hold. And Wimp already with the knife, yeah, he's looking to disable the usage of the abilities of his opposition. I think that's going to be the primary goal with this agent in this specific scenario.
So King is detected by the 0 point. The others will be detected by the trademark. Now, they don't know how many players are coming up kitchen. They know that there's at least one player for sure, but the moment someone from Orgless 5 decides to fight either towards kitchen or halls, they'll be in for a nasty surprise. HSB also revealing his position towards A. Right now, Orgless 5 has spotted people all over the map and they don't know where the actual hit is coming. Made a little bit more and a kill as well, but he's only good for one. With the two remaining players, where do they position themselves? None of the players of Orgless 5 have trading potential. They're all isolated in 1v1s, and Saig is only good for one of those battles.
Great round for the members of Team Snakes. I mean, Hacker all alone, 21 HP. That's going to be that. The spike's also going to be planted. Great round right there from Team Snakes because they were able to infiltrate quite deeply into enemy territory. However, it wasn't just about that. It was the fact that they were able to win out and successfully carry out the initial gunfights. That right there was the primary reason why they won. They only gave away in total a single kill to the members of Orgless 5, and then another one fell through later on in the round. But because of that very reason, due to the map control that they got and then the kills that followed through, it was just a perfect dream case scenario for Team Snakes. Everything ended up working for their side, and it was absolutely lovely to witness what happened. Now the August 5, they're going to be committing to a 5-man A push, and the utility for Team Snakes is gone, but they have the weaponry, and they're going to use the weaponry. Only a single kill going in favor of Sai, otherwise 3 of August 5 fall. That's 4. Can they make it the entire ace? No? Yeah, it's going to be.
Ooh, that's just very quick way to get rid of the round. Stack all 5 players on the ace side, push towards pipes and towers. Even the Viper wall that was put up over here by Hacker, it kind of allows them to focus their attention towards the A main region and not fight on belt. So they eliminate the elevation as well, and they just focus on the low ground. But even after that, they're not able to win, obviously, because of unfortunate weaponry. It's surprising that the members of Orgless 5 didn't force spy like they did in Ascent. But that's better now because they have Vandals and an Op. Sai going through that poison cloud? That's very brave. Black Off also going in for a chamber versus chamber battle, and you know who the better chamber is now. After getting that kill, utility towards mid has been disabled. So Sai is going to have to keep playing here because now they have no other warning utility on mid.
Exactly, and Hacker missing his shots, but more so, it's going to be Sai as well, losing out the duel, and Orgless 5, they're going to crumble down. The semi-hold they had, visually confirming and visually detecting the enemies is now also gone. Well, they now know where the enemies are. Quite obviously, it's going to be the B-bomb side. They wait there. The journey is going to be treacherous, and it's going to be pretty much non-existent as King gets his 3rd kill. Cheeky little off angle. Wimp did not check that. God Vexy, the only one surviving. He's gonna get the 1st kill of the round. That is after the spike has planted. But still, I don't think he'll be able to retrieve the operator that Sai dropped. The position he's playing in, everyone knows about him. No armor remaining on this man. Sure, he's got a bit of utility to work with, but what is the goal he's working towards?
We just hoping to save this weapon and cause some economic damage, which isn't gonna be all that much. If he can just recover that AWP and steal it back, that would, I think, be a big win in his books. But his chapter will be put to an end right here and now. What a convenient way to win for Orgless 5, right? For Team Snakes, right? They win a duel towards A, King wins another duel towards mid, they get a pick on B as well. They're just getting picks everywhere. 30 seconds into the round and they have so many options open. They can do whatever the hell they want, go wherever they want. They don't even need to plant the spike. That's how much advantage they had.
Yeah, that's the thing. Because of the fact that they get so much map control, like planting the spike is like a secondary objective. I mean, so far they've planted the spike in every single round, but it's not their concern. Their concern is getting as many of their members as deep into the map as possible and control it from within. They're forcing Orgless 5 literally and metaphorically into a corner. Now Wimp is all alone on the A bomb side. The rotation from Vexy, is it going to be quick enough? Wimp will be good for no kills right now. Vexy pushes in. Yes, it's a semi-buy from the members of O5, but regardless, the point still stands. Team Snakes push together. This was a traditional take. I mean, this was, yeah, like I said, traditional take, proper execute. They weren't doing too much map control stuff, and it still works.
And why wouldn't it? They got all the weaponry, they're getting all the kills. King has farmed up his ultimate already, and even Shooter for that matter. All these kills going in the favor of Shooter and King. Like, look at the scoreboard. Shooter's on 8 frags, King's on 7, everyone else in the server on 2 frags or less.
It's a struggle. It's a struggle for Orgless 5 right now. And one would imagine what exactly is happening in the voice call that they're in as well, right? What are the words being shared by all the members? Because at the end of the day, it's going to be a team effort. And with Shooter being like not dying. You mentioned the kills, the deaths as well. It's a far more daunting statistic for Orgless 5 to look at those, because Team Snakes, they're not dying. Their survival rates are high, because of which they keep on their weaponry, because of which, you know, their credit economy is building up as well, because they don't have to spend on their guns, on their armor, all that much. And once more, the operator fails. King is going to go into the bomb site. It's going to be a casualty, but it is immediately traded out, and King is going to be resurrected as well. Team Snakes, they have control of the site, but they're losing it. The lurk from Viper has got to happen right now, because I don't think these two attackers can hold on.
Oh, and they've overextended so much already. They lost all the advantage that they had. Now neutralized. Azur with lovely spread brings it right back. Sai has nothing to fight with, lost all his blades, and just a bullet left in the operator. He doesn't even get to shoot it. Soulmate dispatches him into the Nether Realm. A 5-0 lead, CCV. This is starting to become a little scary now.
For Orgless 5, this may have just been a team that we have known to be in the gauntlet right from the get-go. The players who have been staples of the Indian esports scene, I'd say, even before Valorant, other titles, we know about these players. We have seen them play, but in the current form that they are, in the team that they've formed, this can be the end for them. Well, it may just be the end in this round specifically. It's going to be another semi-buy from their side. Team Snakes, you know, with all the might that they have, they're going to be pushing through. They've got rifle shooter again. It's been 8 seconds into the action phase. Team Snakes, they get the opening kill. Now it's been 15 seconds into the action phase, and the spike is going to go down.
Rapid pace by Team Snakes over here. Oh no, please don't.
No
This is
way.
not just snake bites. This is straight up decapitation.
No, that can't be it. That can't be it. That was... Jesus.
I mean,
alright, we'll have
you-
a replay as well.
Also, we have to look at that again. Okay. More pain for any Orgless 5 fans over here. You know, people consider snakes to be slippery, slithery, sneaky creatures. This was quite the opposite of a snake. He went in roaring like a lion with a knife in hand, missed the first stab, still commits to killing him with just the knife, never switching back to his regular pistol. Yeah, that's the characteristic of a bold lion, not a snake.
Be it any animal, be it any analogy, at the end of the day, well, everyone watching, you know, they can understand and everyone can know what's going on, and it's just Team Snakes, they're just a level above the rest right now. Although this push, it's gonna be shut down. Yeah, there's no way they can recover from this. They have to fall back, and with the amount of HP that the members have lost as well on the attacking side, they have to take a moment to set themselves back, to relax, and then move forward, because Vexy with his Hunter's Fury gets one more kill, and now Sai with the operators popping off. Finally, for Orgless 5, the team members and all their fans, it's a round win.
Kinda have to point out that Orgless 5 are winning this because Soulmate did not activate any of his utility going into that push. All the angles were available for Wimp and Sai. None of the vision being blocked gets them an easy round, and I think that's the condition that they have set for themselves. I mean, I wouldn't credit Orgless 5 as much in this round as much as I would blame Soulmate for this one. He's been a phenomenal player in the previous game, but this round was lost purely because his utility did nothing to break up the crossfire that Orgless 5 were holding.
True. Yeah, the crossfire that was maintained, it was just, you know, looking down the barrel of a gun pretty much, and there were multiple of those. Team Snakes were going into the Lion's Den as well, and nothing was saving that. And once more, okay, finally Orgless 5 are coming to their senses, and they're encountering the members of Team Snakes head on. They're not backing away from the fights. Look at Blackhawk right now, will be good for another. Sai gets one more kill, and he's still in the bomb site as the anchor. Can he stay alive somehow? Yes, he can, and he still is gonna keep on aiming with that operator.
Oh, but he's getting pressured so much. He now has to not only worry about B side, but also about B mid. He's going ahead of the Viper's pit. That's brilliant. That's a position that King would have never expected him to be in. And now he's got the elevation too. HSB also might just go down, but he spots him first. Wimp now left with a massive task on his shoulders. He can easily counter this by using the flashes and the 0 point to find out whether they're still in the Viper's pit or back in yellow.
At the moment, he comes on face checking the angle. There he uses the 0 point, spots both the members, so he knows the job he has to do. And the members of Orgless 5, they can close in on the attackers. Hacker from behind as well, clearing out all these angles. This is good. Now they've isolated, they've cornered off the members of Team Snakes right here in towards the Viper's pit. However, the Viper is deadliest when she's in her home ground. That's exactly where Soulmate is. Doesn't have utility. What he has is his guns. However, they're not gonna allow him to win the round. Orgless 5 will be getting another one on board.
I mean, these guys, Team Snakes, were able to take a massive lead, but then they're losing the rounds which I thought they had no business losing. Orgless 5 are not able to win the easier rounds, but in a difficult situation like this, they find the success. That's very paradoxical in my opinion. If Hacker's flank did not come in on time, this whole round would have failed because the 0 point detected both those players. So the information that Wimp had, he thought that both the players were in the actual Viper's pit. Whereas you saw that the enemy Sova, that is in this case HSB, he was still playing a little towards yellow on the edge of that pit.
Oh my god.
My disgusting peek, very brave push, getting a kill, falling back, and that's Shooter dead. He had the Blade Storm, so yeah, another round where he won't be able to use that.
This is Team Snakes getting a taste of their own medicine. This is, Team Snakes realizing how effective the hit and run tactic can be if used correctly, and if it goes unpunished. Because look at Blackhawk's position once more. He's uncontested right now. Can he fall back? No. Abdo is gonna get the trade. This is what Team Snakes should try and do. Go for trades. It's not necessarily just about hit and run. It's not just necessarily about giving no kills. Even if you are, make sure you're getting back double your value. And as a matter of fact, the value that they're getting is the B bomb side, free of any cost whatsoever. They can get in prime post-plant positions, and then they can play on the basis of that. You've got Soulmate right here in kitchen. You've got the two members backed up in the yellow corner. Orgless 5, they have a lot of work to do. However, they have the ultimate to work with them.
Oh, Soulmate safe for now, simply because the players that had be oranges, otherwise he could have been wall banked. Wimp looking to challenge them head on. Abdur gladly obliges, facing him with fury, but Wimp is the one who comes out on top. King still had his rendezvous available, but he's been suppressed, so he can't dash back or he can't teleport. Now using the beacons, hoping to buy some time, but Wimp will clutch it out. Not enough time to defuse though. This is just consolation kills for him. And Team Snakes still continue the momentum. After conceding just 2 rounds to their opposition, they have sent them back.
They absolutely have. Team Snakes, this wasn't looking like a round. This shouldn't have been a round that they would end up the winners of. But guess what? They still did. Sai, he got the initial kill. He got the opening frag. He fell back safely with the operator without a lot of damage to his health as well. That was like best case scenario for Orgless 5 because you had gotten rid of one of the best fraggers for Team Snakes right now. Their entry fragger as well. The only duelist that is on board. However, with the support players, because of the positioning and because of the certain picks that they got, they just went into the bomb side. A Shooter, he's just ziplining his way into the bomb side. The Hunter's Fury works. King peeks the angle. This was kind of like how a Jet is supposed to be as she dashes into the bomb side, but in just a very weird way as the Jet was ziplining. And then King, as a chamber, peeked the same angle and got the kill. Interesting.
Very, very interesting. But now, do Orgless 5 go for this retake? I mean, it's not like they have a choice. If they get a pick, maybe they move in. Otherwise, they go for the save, but they won't even be allowed to do that. Sai and Shooter doing whatever they can, but it's a battle of Jets, and Shooter is the one who's sharper. No weapons allowed to be saved. Op recovered. This has just gone from bad to worse.
Yeah. Shooter, he gets his revenge. He realized what Sai did to him in the previous round, the headshot he got, and he was like, the same operator with which you're peeking. Guess what? I'm gonna overpeak the angle, and I am going to win the duel with the Vandal, which he, well, followed through with the promise. And now Team Snakes, they're back up and running as if they were stopped, only temporarily. Did Orgless 5 manage to get a hold into the round? This one as well, it's a semi-buy, upgraded pistols. You've got the tour de force on Blackhawk, and he needs to make the best out of it. And the remaining members, well, they need to get in these off angles. Owlro not spotting Hacker. He can go into enemy territory. How many kills can he get? That's going to be one. Unspotted right now. Now they get the trade. One kill is plenty, especially when it's the Viper off the board.
Exactly, and phenomenal kill. Now no cover available for the side of Orgless 5 means they have to go in without any precaution against that tour de force. A revive does come through, but counter that, there is already a backstab by Sai over here towards the backlines. Shooter going ahead of the Viper's pit. Still getting the kill on Wimp. That was unnecessary, but hey, I love it when you do unorthodox stuff like that. Sai's backstab has not been detected yet, but there are two people marking the corner, so he's as good as dead the moment he peeks out. The other two players don't really have that much of a chance. Blackhawk still can do something with his tour de force, but does he have enough to kill every single one? He has only 2 bullets, so he's gonna have to switch to another weapon, and they're giving him all the fights. HSV finally peaks and puts him out of his misery.
That's going to be the penultimate round of the first half done and dusted Orgless 5 anyways, regardless. They were saving up for the final round. They were looking to afford the guns. Whatever the kills they got, it was a bonus. They weren't able to retrieve any of them. Team Snakes, whatever guns they lost, they'll be able to recoup and rebuy them in the next round. But this was quite plain and simple. Get the entry kill, go into the bomb site, plant the spike, play post plants. There wasn't a lot that was happening. Team Snakes knew what they were doing. They were holding their flanks. They were watching the angles. The only thing that was unaccounted for was the play from Hacker by going really deep into Garage in that territory. But other than that, simple round done and dusted, as it's going to be Jet versus Jet again. But Wimp helps out his teammate Sai to stay alive. Not only that, but he gets the kill on the shooter. Now look at King. Oh, he can be the playmaker. He gets 1 kill. He needs to check to his left. He needs to hold the angle, and he does, and he wins the gunfight.
The ruler of the Tundra, King, shows them how it's done. Blackhawk tries to bring it back as both the chambers now pop up, and they're so phenomenal in their team's offense. Finally, Kings, he's the one who's the better chamber, but can the others come through? Wimp is trapped over here. He's very paranoid about HSB coming from the back lines, and he's right about it. Oh, this is a scary scoreline, CCV. 10-2. I did not see this coming. I thought it would be a bit more competitive, especially after Orgless 5 was able to win those 2 rounds. I thought they figured out the formula to success, but I was plain mistaken.
Yeah, Orgless 5, they had a grip on it, and it wasn't just like a fluke. It was O5 figuring out the playstyle of Team Snakes and actively countering it. That was my favorite part. They were taking the gunfights to the members of Team Snakes. Now, as I say, for any team that's in a distraught state, the side swap is gonna be the changing, or can be the ultimate premium change factor. This can be the momentum shift, and I see this not just the teams, the players, but all their fans watching as well, who are thinking that, oh, it's done and dusted, might as well close it off and go and do something else or watch something else. No, the side swap is where a lot of things can change. A great example of that, the previous map, Ascent. It wasn't a comeback necessarily, but it was a very close fight. It was, 7-7 after the initial couple of rounds of the side swap. However, then the members of Orgless 5, they started losing and losing, and they lost the momentum. They kept on losing the rounds consecutively, back and forth, one after the other, and that allowed Team Snakes to take the win. Something similar can certainly happen here. It can go into the favor of Orgless 5. However, the chances, the margins are extremely thin. They need to win these rounds, otherwise their journey in the Gauntlet Season 4 is gonna be done.
Everything is on the line. Their lives in the tournament, everything that they've been working for in the last few months. Keep in mind that this is one of the longest and the toughest tournaments in all of South Asia, spanning across more than a month and across so many seasons. Plus, you have to go through a grueling group stage and an even tougher playoffs to get anywhere close to that cash prize. So all this effort, you don't want to go down the drain. They've put in months and months into the tournament, and they have been somewhat emotionally attached to this one. It would be really unfortunate if their journeys came to an end right now. But then again, in order to keep their journey going, they have to climb a massive mountain. They first need to somehow pull off this 8 round deficit that has been built up between them and their opponents, and then win the next map split. Now, while the Orgless 5 team is kind of strong on split, they first have to get over the attacking side of Icebox. The problem with the attacking side of Icebox is you have to keep changing things every now and then. Otherwise, a team like Snakes will be easily able to adapt. And if they can't adapt, then they will just try to play their own gameplay, play their own style, where King and Shooter go super aggressive deep into enemy territories and start shooting, whereas the other three players are playing with a little more discipline and coordination. And that kind of hybrid playstyle is so difficult to deal with, because it's not like you can just keep holding for a whole minute and get a pick. Even if you
True.
do get a pick, it will be just one. You still have 4 other defenders to deal with. And given how good Team Snakes have been reading their opponents today, I think it's going to be difficult to fake them out. Let's see what happens, because
Yeah.
the Orgless 5 are gearing up for an A push, and they are leaving nothing to chance.
All right, so HSV on the Sova. Yeah, like I said, yesterday it was Arena. This time it's the Sova. Same position, same gun, same angles being held from his side. Although this is the pistol round. Team Snakes, they're looking to close off all avenues for Orgless 5 to fight from. It's going to be the zip line, perhaps working out for Sai. No, it's not gonna. The Sage Wall still holding on through, and Team Snakes, well, they are trying to just, mount on and surround the members of Orgless 5. And guess what? In a way, they are successful. The 3 surviving members, they're right here on the A-bomb side. HSV is gonna peek. That was one shot right there. He gets 1 kill. The person was low. Wimp, though, he gets the trade. However, what Orgless 5 don't get is the fact that they are absolutely surrounded. Look it up, they're going. He loses his life, deals a lot of damage, all down to Vexy, and Shooter with the Sheriff finishes things off.
See, that's the kind of indiscipline that I'm worried about. Team Snakes are not afraid to throw the rulebook out. HSP zips across the toxin screen, gets a pick towards server box. And then even Abdur peeks out of the toxin screen, doesn't get a kill, but he does enough damage for Shooter to finish the job. Usually, when you peek a toxin screen, especially one which has been put like that, you will die instantly. But that doesn't happen to Team Snakes. They pull off the unorthodox plays and they still don't get punished for it. And that's what I was worried about. Orgless 5 have no choice but to go in for a force buy this time. And a force buy will be met with an even bigger weapon in the hands of HSB.
Yep, that's that. HSP is just never gonna leave this position. Sai, though, interesting piece he was holding, but he absolutely fumbled the bag with his movement right there. He was inaccurate. Blackhawk and Hacker, they managed to salvage a bit of this round. They can pick up the weaponry dropped of the members of Team Snakes. However, the flank's imminent. Shooter with 1 kill. That's going to be Hacker trading it, and it's going to be, a controller up against a sentinel. There's the personal sheriff right now in the hands of King. Hacker's right here. The angle is all to play for, but he looks away. He sees the barrel of the gun. He's gonna shoot the person, and that is gonna be match point, series point for Team Snakes. A round that was far too close for comfort, but hey, unlike Ascent, the team that won the pistol, they managed to win the follow-on.
Oh yeah, that's the trend in Ascent, right? None of the teams win the follow-up round after pistol.
Exactly.
This time, by winning both in a row, they've pretty much sealed the coffins of Orgless 5 over here. They're just waiting to be lowered into the ground and then buried. No money, no weapons, just a Spectre and a Bulldog in the hands of Sai and Hacker respectively. Whereas in the hands of in the hands of Team Snake, they have all the weapons in the world, and King already spraying them down. Shooter gladly obliging to follow up. God Vexy finally does something, but he's gonna have to do everything all by himself. And more if he wants to keep the hope alive for his team. He goes for a fight straight up instead of going for the plants. And that is it, ladies and gentlemen. Orgless 5 are out of the tournament. Their journey in the gauntlet has come to an end, and Team Snakes advance ahead.
Really, really unfortunate for the side of Orgless 5. We've seen them time and time again. I was, talking about this previously. We've known these players, and right now I have to say that, yeah, looking at the player cams as well, Orgless 5, well, we can only see God Vexy right now. But still, we don't need to see the members as well to understand what they're going through. It's going to be just an unfortunate scenario for all of them and for how they've been playing. And that's that pretty much, their journey coming to an end. A long, long saga of their teams going through roster changes, of organization changes as well. Earlier it was Esports XO, now they're still looking for an org. All of that now comes to an end as we go on over to the map of Icebox and see what happened here, which led to ultimately the downfall of Orgless 5.
The only 2 rounds that Orgless I was able to win was one because of Soulmate's mistake of not putting up his Viper utility and allowing Orgless 5 to keep their crossfires intact. And the second one was on the basis of individual heroics by Sai and Hacker. If it wasn't for that, then I do not think that Orgless 5 would have been able to get even those 2 rounds. In fact, I'm surprised that they're able to keep their sanity after this incident that King pulled off.
And there's so much stuff happening. Many instances right now, I have to say. Orgless 5, you just won't like it's not just situational awareness, it's just overall awareness as well of what exactly is happening over the course of multiple rounds. Situational awareness can be that, oh, in this round specifically, someone's going for the knife, someone's getting aggressive, someone this or that. But overall, Oculus 5 were just not able to fundamentally get the idea of what Team Snakes were trying to play with. And there were many times where they were just caught lacking.
Caught lacking, caught napping. Team Snakes had so many kills and so many picks towards every part of the map. You remember that one round where they were able to get a kill on A, B, and mid at the same time? And then they're like, all right, now what? It's like being the fat kid at the buffet. You have so many food options. You want to eat everything, but unfortunately, you can only pick one. So that was basically Team Snakes in the first half. They had so many options for themselves, they didn't know what to do. And that's a happy problem.
Sad problem is, well, August 5 in this entire best of three is after since the first half of Ascent ended. That is exactly what the scenario they was put in, and they were put in more so that they had so much firepower against them they couldn't battle it. Speaking of firepower, let's move on over to statistics. Let's talk about the kills. And so far, King as well, 21 kills, ACS 381. High
Wow.
numbers, but it's the low numbers of Oculus 5 as well that reveal a bit of a disappointing story. God, Pixie, Blackhawk, Hacker, 6 kills apiece after 15 rounds. It's not really the best performance. Even for Team Snakes, okay, you have someone like Shaka and Soulmate who don't have double-digit kills, but when you have, Shooter, when you have King pulling so much of the weight, doing so much of the heavy lifting, you don't need to get kills. As for Oculus 5, that wasn't the case.
Yeah, August I had to rely a lot on individual heroics, and quite frankly, that is something that Team Snakes excelled in. I wouldn't exactly call it a win because of heroics, but they were winning because of superior aim duels, and that's not the most reliable way to get the win, but it is a very efficient and a very stylish way to do so. So there you have it, ladies and gentlemen. Team Snakes, your winners of this game. But don't you go anywhere. We have a lot of exciting games coming up next, especially the one after this one. At 8 p.m., we have Reckoning Esports going up against Enigma Gaming. The two Titans.
Yeah, taking a look at the brackets as well. Unfortunately, we're just having a bit of tech issues right here. However, the teams, they surely have got to be ready. Whatever happens at the end of the day, the teams have got to make sure that they are in it to win it, and they have every precaution done necessary. Because once more, Reckoning Esports up against Enigma Gaming, upper bracket semi-final. As a matter of fact, the last that we'll be seeing in season 4. The team that wins, they face off against the likes of True Rippers in the upper bracket finals. The team that loses, they face off against God Particles. A lot to play for right now. And moving on over to the lower brackets, Team Snakes, they will be moving on forward to the next stage. Sorry, they'll be moving on forward to the next stage of the lower brackets. They'll be facing off against the winners of God Particles and whoever they face off against. But so far, taking a look at the brackets, yeah, the next match is surely one that no one should be missing. Reckoning up against Enigma. It's going to be in the night as well. perfect way to end your day. The players, no excuses necessary from their side. Like I don't want to hear any excuses. It's gonna be later on. They should be already preparing, having their strats ready, going for your practice scrims, whatever it may be. And yeah, this matchup is gonna be one to look out for, because seeing how the performances of Reckoning and Enigma have been, seeing not just the team performances, like I said, but the players' performances as well. Oh boy, it's shaping up to be a banger.
Oh, this is definitely going to be a banger of a game. So make sure that you guys
Right.
subscribe to the channel and click that bell icon so that you do not miss when we go live. Also, while we're at it, go ahead and check out our lovely sponsors as well, because they have some amazing products for you that will definitely help you improve your gameplay. Intel, they provide the best gaming value by providing the best overall gaming experience. So follow the hashtag Game with Intel and check out the other lovely products by our other sponsors, LG Ultragear and Crucial as well. And hey,
Yep.
while you're hitting all the shots in game, make sure you look stylish as well while wearing the 656 jerseys. That is it from our side, ladies and gentlemen. This is me, Cribs, along with CCV, signing off for now. But we'll be back again in a couple of hours at 8 p.m. So make sure that you tune in for that one as well. We'll see you around.
One, two, three, let's go.